Welcome to the ScottyDontX Show, Episode 8, Road Trip, Part 2 of 3.
I do not answer questions from police. Thank you. Am I free to go? Now, I know that there's lots of videos on YouTube, etc., where some people, they have a good attitude. They're not looking for a fight with this information. Other people are just looking to make the officer's life miserable. And yet there's another group called Sovereign Citizens, which from the videos I've seen, I haven't researched it, I haven't joined them. They're the ones who are saying, oh no, I don't need a driver's license to operate this car because I'm just traveling, I'm not driving. You only need a driver's license if you're driving commercially. Well, no, I don't think that's the case, because if you are sitting in a car and the key is on, guess what? You're operating a vehicle, and all 50 states require a driver's license to operate a vehicle. They don't care if you're driving or if you're sitting still, or if you don't consider it driving, you're just traveling in the vehicle where it's choosing to take you. Okay, let's carve an exception for autonomous cars here, because Kit from Knight Rider, I don't think you can actually get a ticket, and the new Teslas and the other ones, etc., I don't know how those work. So, if you're pointing the car and you're driving it, or you're sitting there in control of the car, even with the engine not running, guess what? You're operating a vehicle. This reminds me of a story. Actually, I think it's happened a couple times, and this is from memory, and I am not a lawyer. I never have been. I never will be. But the story was a person sitting in their car, unconscious from alcohol, and they had the key in the ignition, was convicted for driving under the influence. Actually, this also appeared in a Scrubs episode where JD was pushing his motor scooter home, but he had the key in it, and he's pushing because he was drunk, buzzed, and he had the key in it because that's what unlocks the steering column so he could push his little motor scooter home. And he got busted for drunk driving because of it. Also, additional cases where the person had their key on them and were in the car, resting, sleeping it off, and they were at least charged with driving under the influence. Now, Scotty, I can hear you asking, which is still weird because this is a one-way podcast. How do you know so much about this? Well, when I was recently 21 or 22 years old, I wanted to go out and experience drinking. So, because going out means you have to get home or you have to not come home, I chose the not come home method. So, what I had done is went drinking at a karaoke place and then went back to my car, unlocked it, opened the trunk, put my keys in the trunk so they were completely separate from the operating cockpit, and went in my car, locked it up from in the cockpit, and slept. In this way, I felt secure that I wouldn't accidentally, wake up and drive my car, because getting out and popping the trunk would be kind of obvious to myself. And this worked fine. I slept until, 2 p.m. to 6 a.m. So plenty of time. And I had slept with my car parked in the Sherry's parking lot. So wake up and I think I had the crispy chicken Alfredo, which they had back at the time. Oh, that was so good. You know, we discussed time travel an episode or more back, and time travel to go grab food would be cool, even if it's stuff they just haven't had for a couple years. And ignore the pricing. I would pay today's pricing for some of the food that I used to enjoy. Oh, Denny's. They used to have prime rib, but someone I worked with had been a manager at Denny's, and he said that they couldn't legally call it prime rib. They called it prime rib product because I guess they took the prime rib and kind of mashed it together. And holy fucking shit. I just took I-5 to Jansen Beach because there's a Best Buy there. But in reality, I think the Best Buy I needed to go to was by the Portland airport. So I'm going to stop my recording and check my receipt, my pickup order, and then I'll come back and tell you people how stupid I was. Okay, it's currently 12:15 p.m. and yeah, my quick little detour to pull up the correct store location in the map. Also,
turn right onto North Hayden Island Drive.
Oh my God, seriously?
In 1,000 feet, use the right lane to take the I-5 ramp to Seattle.
All right, I guess we can do that. Alrighty, so this should be a good take. It's 12:19 p.m. So, figuring out which store is going to, putting the address into Google Maps so that I wouldn't screw it up. And also, I decided to pay for the premium version of my Easy Voice Recorder so I could get more sounds to configure. So it's kind of funny. And then I started off, and the Google Alerts, or rather turn-by-turn directions, reset. The Google Alerts turn-by-turn directions were on because I have swapped to a new warranty replacement phone. So lots of little settings to jiggle. I turned those off because I don't need turn-by-turn directions read out to me. No, I am not going to do the "so I heard you ask" joke again. I should retire that completely, but it'll probably come up again. And I'm not even going to do the repeating again. And go, hey, that was an in-camera effect. You know what? I am just going to call it in-camera for in-recorder, because in reality, shouldn't I be painting pictures with my words and making it like a camera? Which is kind of funny, because once I get the Ray-Ban Meta smart glasses, I will be recording, and it will also take camera, so it'll make it easy to identify the speaker when I go back to edit it into a podcast. Maybe video logs are going to be a thing. The important note and my intention with the Meta smart glasses is to always have consent from people reset. My goal with the Meta smart glasses is to always have consent from people when they're going to be recorded, because going around and recording would reset, because going around and recording without consent, well, that's going to make you a Google Glass hole. Yeah, even Google put out a support bulletin back in the day with the Google Glass, which had a camera, very obvious, and a in-eye display that said, hey, don't be glass holes. You know, if people ask you to take them off or they're uncomfortable, don't fight them on it. Just go ahead and do it. Which makes sense. I'm very happy with the new form factor of the Ray-Ban. I keep going to want to go Ray-Ban, and not Ray-Ban. I'm happy with the MetaSmart Glasses form factor, and the fact that it doesn't have an in-eye or an over-the-lens display is pretty cool. If I need to see something or get something, I can look at my phone, because the display is going to be way better, and the app developers do not need to program for a second limited display.